this meeting of the Butte-Silver Zoning Board of Adjustment. So I will now call the meeting to order. I would first of all like to introduce the staff. The gentleman sitting at the table is Dylan Pipinich. On Dylan's left, and Dylan is the planning director, and on Dylan's left is Joella Thomas, planning technician, and directly across from Dylan on my right here is Robin Smith, administrative assistant. This is Robin's first meeting, and I hope it goes better than Joella's first meeting, which lasted till after midnight. But I'm sure we'll be done well before midnight, Robin. So congratulations and welcome to the board.
Thank you.
And then the board members that are present tonight, on my far left is Garrett Craig, Sylvia Cunningham, John Reese. On my right is Lauren Burmeister. My name is Dave Wing, and I will be chairing the meeting tonight. The first matter that we need to consider are the minutes of the last meeting. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those minutes, which were some time ago, actually? Yes, okay. I reviewed them and thought they were great, but somebody might have seen something in there that I missed.
Do you have a hard copy of them?
Take a minute to take a look at the minutes. A minute to look at the minutes.
That's why I don't remember, I wasn't here.
Oh, you weren't here, okay. Well, you won't have anything to add anyway. Anybody who's here would care to make a motion concerning those minutes?
Mr. Chair,
You move to approve them, John?
I would second that motion,
It's
Mr.
been
Chairman.
moved and seconded, the minutes be approved. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved by voice vote. The first substantive matter that we have on the agenda tonight, and in fact the only one, is special use permit number 13, application by Allison Moon and Dwayne Rinker, agent, to locate a special use, essentially a bed or vacation rental by owner. Mr. Rinker, you were present in?
Yes.
That's you, okay. And tonight is also going to be Joella's first presentation to the board, as I understand it. Okay. Are you ready for your presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm ready.
We're ready.
Okay, this is for special use permit 21-000013. Thanks. The special use permit application is, the applicant is Allison Moon. The proposal is to locate an Airbnb in an existing residence in per section 17.38.180. The applicant is proposing to rent out a 3-bedroom residence for overnight stay and short-term rentals through an online hosting program. Staff findings, lodging provided by a homeowner for compensation is recognized as a special use allowed in any residential zoning district, provided that the prescribed use is a harmony with the other uses permitted in the zone and not found to be contrary to public interest. The process provides for review of physical conditions which exist at the location, the conduct and operation of the proposed use, and whether the combination of these factors will be compatible with the proposed site and surrounding area. To provide the board with information about the proposed special use, the applicant and planning staff have responded to the established 20 questions outlined herein. Here we have a map. It is in the R1 zoning district on the corner of Harvard and Meade Avenue. And here's an aerial photo of the proposed location. The location and character of the property and surrounding buildings. The property is located, as I said, in an R1 or single-family zone. The home is a single-family home with a footprint of 1,107 square feet, and the subject parcel itself is on a 4,725 square foot size lot. And these photos just indicate some of the surrounding area, single-family homes. This is to the east of the residence. This would be to the south of the residence. Here's the back area. Location and character of the property and surrounding building. The property in question is located within an area containing single-family homes. It is on a corner lot, as I just indicated. The parcel is located across the alley. They are also in an R1 zone, single-family homes. Substantial changes that have occurred in the surrounding land use since the original adoption of the ordinance. There's not been any changes in the zoning ordinance in that area. The property in question is located within a traditional neighborhood place type. Traditional place type neighborhoods primarily serve the residential needs of urban areas, generally single-family residential housing, but can also provide the opportunity for higher density housing. Proposed fencing, screening, and landscaping. No proposed changes concerning the landscaping. They do have a fence around the whole perimeter of that yard. Proposed vehicle access, circulation, and parking. Vehicle access to and from the property is acceptable for the proposed use. The access is provided via the Harvard Avenue to the front of the resident and an alley to the south. There's a detached garage located to the rear of the residence and enough room for numerous on-street parking spaces, both on Harvard and Meade Avenue, which is the side street to the west of the residence. Handicap access may be a concern, as there are steps in the front of the residence to access the house, as well as a step on the side street entrance. Staff feels that the applicant should state this in the listing for rental. And here's just some photos depicting the entrance to the house, both in the front, the side, and then some parking near the rear garage. Proposed signs and lighting. The applicant under BSBMC section 17.42.050A-5 may have one sign as a directional or informational sign. The sign can't be more than 5 square feet in area, and that's to inform guests as to where a parking area is located. In addition, applicants shall be permitted 1 square foot sign flat against the front wall of the building. Regarding lighting, the existing lighting is typical of the residential neighborhood. All potential nuisances. Of course, with these types of rentals, there is a concern for increased traffic in the neighborhood, parking and noise. As long as the occupancy level of the residence is in conformance with the residential building code, it shouldn't increase any of the traffic. Parking, there was sufficient parking around that area, or in front of the house, excuse me. Noise, staff would suggest that the owner does enforce rules through the online hosting program. Public safety and health. Butte-Silver Borough Health Department regulations related to providing rooms for rent, and again, making sure that the occupancy level of the building is met per the building code. That the use conforms to objectives of the adopted comprehensive plan and purpose of the ordinance. The comprehensive plan or growth policy designation for this parcel is traditional neighborhood. Staff believes that the proposed use is consistent with the intent of the zoning ordinance to allow for the reasonable use of private property. The zoning ordinance permits certain commercial uses to be located within all residential zones after review by the Zoning Board of Adjustments. The special use application process was created to ensure these types of businesses don't negatively impact the adjacent residents. That the use of classification will not adversely affect nearby properties of their occupants. Anytime a commercial business encroaches into a residential neighborhood, there is a potential for the use to negatively impact the surrounding property owners. In this case, when considering the low-impact commercial nature of the business and the owners limiting the number of occupants, staff feels that it would appear to have a minimal impact on adjacent properties and property owners. In conclusion, based on the above information, staff analysis of the review criteria and any public opinion as it relates to the criteria, the board must determine if the applicant has presented evidence to the satisfaction of the board that said undue detriment will not result from the granting of a special use permit for this short-term rental. The board shall, within 60 days, deny the application and give reason for any denial in writing to the applicant, or approve the application, and the zoning officer shall issue a zoning compliance permit with conditions specified therein. And that concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Joella. Do any board members have any questions of the staff regarding this matter? Okay, not hearing any, I'll now ask the applicant if he cares to present additional information or evidence in support of the application to the board. If you come up here and go to one of the speakers, there's a little icon you have to push, and when you do, red light comes on. It's like this. There you go.
Can you hear me?
You sure can.
Okay. Well, I
Could you
just,
identify yourself
yeah.
for the record, please?
My name is Dustin Rinker, and I'm the agent for Allison Moon. I am a property manager, and I've been helping her move forward with this project.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to thank you guys for considering our case, and I think that the report was well put, so I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I think generally we are really striving. We read the Butte-Silver growth plan, and where we really want to conform to what would be good for the community and what we're trying to do, and provide a good quality, clean housing project. Right now we have a traveling nurse there that's there for 4 months, and that's specifically what we're trying to do, is to provide housing for short-term workers that are working here in Butte. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to do that successfully so far. And that's the main thrust and goal of what we're trying to accomplish. And they have a really hard time finding places. And I've had probably a half dozen more at least contact us asking for more places, but I don't have more. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for you guys' consideration as well, like what's generally happening in the market.
Okay.
So anyway, thank you again so much for your time and consideration.
Well, thank you. I'll just check and see if any board members might have any questions. None? Okay, thank you, Mr. Rinker.
Thank you.
Although it seems unlikely, I'll ask if there's anybody present who would care to speak in support of the application. I have to do that for the record. There is nobody here. But hearing nobody, I'll now ask if there's anybody present who would care to speak against the application. And again, nobody is present. So close the public portion of the meeting and open it for board discussion.
Mr. Chairman, may I add something?
Yes.
If you remember, with the last special use permit, staff stopped make a recommendation on special use permits because of that last criteria is public comment. So we wait until the hearing to do so.
Okay.
If the board does feel that this is an appropriate use of land, staff has some recommendations for some conditions of approval, if you would like to hear those during your board discussion.
Well, I think I would, but I'll check with the board members concerning that matter. Indicate they would like to hear them. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so typically with the short-term rentals, the conditions that we've done in the past are that they get a public accommodation license from the health department, that any remodeling meets all building codes,
Thank you.
that the occupancy be limited to that's defined in the building code, which is 1 occupant per 200 square feet of residence, and that they get a business license. So those are the 5 conditions that have been typical of the other short-term rentals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mr. Rinker, you've been provided with a copy of the conditions of approval. Yes. Could you just kind of come forward and just ask if those conditions seem appropriate and applicable to you? Give you a chance to...
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to fully read through. I was trying to read through.
Yeah, go ahead and take your time.
Yeah. On its face, I think so. I think that we'd be happy to accommodate anything that the board would ask from us in this matter, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they are acceptable to you then?
I
for the
think so,
record?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
No,
We
Mr.
have-
Chairman, I'd make one comment. I do, these types of properties are certainly commercial, and so I think it's appropriate that staff does recommend that they essentially be treated as a commercial building and conform with those commercial type conditions. And so I appreciate all 5 of these, and I think they're appropriate. I also, my one kind of concern with VRBOs and Airbnbs is just the parking, which you guys pointed out in here, and the potential for people parking in front of other houses. But with the long-term proposal, I don't know that that's really a concern.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't clear, is the number of the house well posted outside? There was a comment in here that it should be, but it wasn't clear whether it is. And if it's not, that maybe would be
Yeah.
one other recommendation, so that somebody's not parking in front of somebody else's house
Sure.
and being disruptive.
Yeah, I drove by, I thought it was well marked.
Okay.
In the parking
Mr.
situation.
Chairman, as you can see in the photo, not very well. There is on the, I guess it'd be on the left-hand side, right side, if you're looking, the address is posted clearly there. And it is also posted on the mailbox in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. And there's plenty of parking with it being a corner lot. And with the garage too, of course. So we have up to 60 days. I'm not sure that that would be necessary, but I'd like the board input on that. We could do it tonight, I suspect.
I'd be willing to vote tonight.
I would too. I would. Okay. Does anybody care to make a motion then with regard to this matter?
No, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve special use permit 21-000013 with the conditions provided by staff.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve it, and now we can all vote. Thanks, John. All 5 votes are for the motion, so the special use permit application has been approved, and you will be receiving a letter from the planning staff to that effect. Thank you, and good luck with your project. Sure, you bet.
Is your meeting going to conclude after this, or
Pardon?
is your meeting going to conclude now, or will I have a chance to ask a couple of questions?
Well, what concerns do you have, sir?
I don't, they're not, I just the implementation of a couple of the conditions that you're asking. I'm not aware of I'll have to do some research as to how to accomplish it, so.
Okay, you can take that up with the planning staff.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is there any further business on the agenda? Okay. Well, Robin, this first meeting for you ended a lot sooner than Joella's first meeting. So thank you. Anything to take up? No? Okay, so the meeting will be adjourned.